Manafort right there. You may be doing well in Wyoming. You may be picking up bodies in other states, but they're going to get the 1237 before July.
Well, you know, if they do, that's the threshold either side's got to get over. Then the race is over at that point. But we're aiming ourselves to get to 1237 by appealing to voters with Ted's vision for economic growth, more freedom, and getting government out of the way instead of getting more government going.
But you know the math doesn't work for you.
Common solution for Donald Trump.
You know the math doesn't work for your campaign to get to 1237 before July. The real question is, can you block Mr. Trump from getting there? And isn't that going to take wins for you in places like Indiana and holding very close, if not a win in California?
Well, look, you don't win the race without winning states, and we've been winning states. We've been winning delegate contests. We've been winning elections, and when we win, Trump whines, and that you heard more of it from Mr. Manafort there this morning. And we just keep pressing ahead. We have a great grassroots network that's been inspired by Ted's vision, and we're building on that. We're building on that in every state, no matter how competitive it is. And that's why we're in this race. That's why we're going to win this race. And we're building on that foundation. And it's a foundation built on Ted's vision for America.
If you look at where this is going right now, it seems like even if Mr. Trump doesn't get to 1237, he's going to go into Cleveland with the most votes, having won the most states, having the most delegates. And most Republicans think whoever meets those three criteria should be the nominee. Why are they wrong?
Well, first of all, you have to get a majority to be the nominee. Period. That's a bottom line rule. It's been the rule from the beginning. That's the measuring stick. And Donald Trump hasn't won a majority anywhere, not in a single state anywhere in the country. Ted Cruz has, but Donald Trump has not. So when we get to Cleveland, if no one has the 1237, which appears most likely at this point, then you still have to get to 1237. That's the benchmark. You know, football teams don't get in the red zone and then demand a touchdown and then cry about it when you don't give them one. But that's what we're dealing with the Trump campaign. Lots of football teams get in the red zone and lose.
You also just heard Mr.
We're aiming to win this by building up the number of folks who support Ted, and he's growing the coalition he needs to win.
You just heard Mr. Manafort say you guys are doing it with the help of breaking the rules.
Right, and you asked the key follow-up question. Tell me one example. And he couldn't give you a single example. I mean, they keep using this hyperbolic rhetoric that they can't back up. And he said, well, you know, the lawsuits are coming. He can't answer the question because we're playing within the rules established a long time ago and motivating voters based on Ted's vision. That's why we're winning now. That's why we're rolling through so many of these states. That's why he didn't even bother to compete. Trump didn't just lose in Wyoming, he got stomped. And the same was true in Colorado. 65,000 people participated in Colorado. And Ted Cruz swept that election. And he did it with his vision for economic growth, to make this country secure, finally, and also to expand freedom. Finally, and Donald Trump can't speak to any of those things.
You've used a similar kind of rhetoric. You've actually accused the Trump campaign of Gestapo tactics. Name one.
Yeah, absolutely. How about calling for riots in the street? How about threats? We're going to go to the hotel rooms of delegates. Death threats to the Colorado Republican chairman. I can give you answers to those questions, George, but they can't. And they keep using the rhetoric. This is a banana republic approach from the Trump team because they're getting beat on the ground. They have a media campaign that gets a lot of media attention, but Ted Cruz has built a grassroots campaign on people and people's vision across America, and they're carrying this forward. You know, we're winning because thousands of Americans have risen up to Ted's message, to get behind that, and to win in these conventions and in these caucuses and in these primaries. And we're doing it. And we're going to keep doing it through June 7th and then on to Cleveland.
Ken Cuccinelli, thanks very much for your time this morning.